All right, since we're live, just want to welcome everybody to the ScrappyDew live show. Of course, I'm Rob with ScrappyDew, and I'm joined by three others that you'll see down here, and we'll let them introduce themselves right quick. So I'm going to first start off. We have the Silver Bullet and BlackCat creators and owners here with us tonight. So very happy and excited about that, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Sherri.
Hi, this is Sherri Jensen, USA, BlackCat Silver Bullet.
Okay, and then we also have Dawn. Go ahead, Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn of Thyme Graphics. I'm based in Derby in the UK, and I'm responsible for looking after Europe.
All right, and then of course we have Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm SEO and CMO specialist for silverbulletcolors.com.
All right, so just in case you guys don't know how this works, if this is your first time, like I said, welcome. You feel free to comment down below, and we can actually bring up your comments and we can answer your questions. So we can bring them up like this. It looks like everyone's been, we're monitoring the chat room, and we can actually bring up people, like, hello, I got an 18-inch BlackCat, 24-inch Silver Bullet. It just seems like everyone's telling us what size and what kind of cutter they have today. So very cool. So like I said, feel free to comment down below. We'll track it and we'll bring it up. Okay. Now, also keep in mind that there is about a 30 to 60-second delay between what we're talking about and what you guys are actually seeing. So if there is a delay in us answering your questions, that's why. All right. So, I invited the Silver Bullet team here to sort of go over, a little bit of history about their machines, what they did to improve it, how are people in the, in the community actually using their machines. So we have a little PowerPoint presentation here, and I'm going to go ahead and cue that up, and we'll just go ahead and get going. All right, so let me go ahead and bring that up. All right, hopefully you guys can see my screen, and Michelle will be in the background monitoring questions. I won't be able to see them, but she'll be able to interrupt us. So of course we're talking about this the Silver Bullet machine here, and we've already done the introductions, and here's their website. So we have Sherri, she's with thatscrapinc.com. We have Dawn with thymegraphics.co.uk, and of course MichelleMyBelle, MichelleMyBelle Creations, and myself, Rob, with ScrappyDew.com. So this is sort of the outline that we're going to go over today with this. We're going to go over the history of the BlackCat Cougar Silver Bullet, and how these machines are actually being used today, and we're also going to go with, what do you actually get with this machines? The tools, the blades, the mats, etc. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're also going to talk about, what are the best places to go and learn and get more information if you guys are interested in this machine. So go ahead, give us a little bit of history here, Sherri, with your machines.
Okay, I'll start. Dawn and I both previously worked as distributors for one of the competitors, and in 2009 we created the BlackCat Cougar. In 2010 we came out with a BlackCat Lynx for the scrapbooking market that wanted a smaller machine, less expensive, and we got in a trademark dispute and went on to create the Silver Bullet in July of 2012. And Dawn, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
All right. So we got what makes this machine great kind of slide here, and I thought we can touch upon the cutting speed of this. So we have several cutters here shown here, and I thought maybe either Dawn or Sherri can sort of describe the speed in the chart here.
Dawn, do you want to?
You go ahead with this one. I'll do the next.
Okay. Okay. So the cutting speeds were in millimeters, and we originally, with the BlackCat Cougar, we had it at a 600 millimeter speed, realizing that we could go up to 800 millimeters. We have a lot of commercial people using our machines and want to get the jobs done quicker. A lot of people that have started small businesses and needed to operate the machine at a much greater speed than we currently had, so we bumped that up from 600 to 800, and then some of the smaller other machines, the more desktop machines, of course have speeds at 175, and then all the way down to, I think it was like,
I think it was 70, yeah, 70.
Yeah, 70.
70 was a silhouette Cameo, and I think we said one.
Right.
Okay.
And the only time that we suggest people turning that speed down is when you're going through a denser media. At that point, you want to probably drop that down to the 400, 500 range to get through it. A good analogy would be, the blade trying to get through a piece of vinyl, cuts like butter, blade trying to get through a piece of chipboard cardstock or heavier cardstock or framing material would be, obviously you're trying to push the blade through something denser and thicker. A leather is another thing. So you'll obviously need to turn it down a little bit. We've got a lot of that information at the Learning Center.
All right. So not only do we have the speed, but we have the pressure here, and we got the silver bullet up here. Go ahead and tell us what's our pressure for silver bullet here.
The pressure for the silver bullet is listed as either 1250 or 950, depending on what site you look on. That's obviously still a great deal more than such as the Cameo, but I will at this point take the opportunity to explain different listings of pressure. There's basically three ways of listing the cutting force. There's the maximum theoretical force, and that's obtained from a machine under special test conditions, not when it's in actual use. There's the maximum usable force. That's the force that can be used to emboss, engrave, punch, etc. This is what Sherri lists on her site and is the listing given as 1250. Then there's the maximum usable cutting force. This is the maximum force that can be used for producing clean, accurate cuts. That's what I list on my site, and the listing I give is 950, and setting wise on your silver bullet that equates to about 180.
All right, now I have the machine, and using the pressure values, we got 0 to 255, right? Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So we were talking about this the other day. Is the pressure a linear? Is it linear or is it exponential? And I thought maybe you can explain this here, Dawn, as well.
Yeah. You have far greater control over the amount of pressure at the lower end. If you look at the graph here, at the lower end it rises very, very slowly. As you get further along it starts to steepen and then rises very quickly. That's because for cutting things such as tissue paper, a step of maybe 1 or 2 will actually make a difference to the quality of the cut. When you get up to cutting such things as mount board, a setting change the same amount will have no visible difference whatsoever, so the steps are proportionally larger.
All right. All right, so we got some real-life examples of how people are actually using this. Go ahead and explain how some of these real-life examples you guys have of people using your machines.
Well, I'll take the chocolate one.
All right, that's my favorite one.
And mine too, and it should come with a health warning. When you unwrap chocolate, you immediately get that smell. But when you engrave it, it sends all the little flakes off into the air, and the smell is delicious. But anyway, being serious, it's actually really easy to engrave because it's such a malleable media. And we've got companies who produce promotional items, such as custom engraved chocolate bars and coins. It's a significant part of their repertoire.
Yeah, if you guys go on YouTube, after this show and stuff, you just type in chocolate engraving, you'll see this actual video of it just writing that love letters right there on that chocolate bar. So it's pretty cool video. I could not even picture someone actually doing this, but it's pretty cool idea. How you can
and as Dawn had a client, a European client, a chocolatier, who had requested that she do this, I then have had a couple of chocolatiers from the East Coast, New York specifically, who are now engraving all of their chocolate bars for weddings and anniversaries, etc. So it's really become, very popular.
I can even see it for like newborn babies and stuff,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, instead of that cigar that they used to give.
Yeah, give some chocolate.
Yep, it's a boy, it's a girl.
So people are also using this to engrave on dog tags?
Yep. Yeah, I have a lot of customers who are taking the machines to the Kennel Club shows and using it to engrave the dog tags, bracelets, things like that. You'll set up a jig to drop the things into so that you don't have to individually attach each one of them while you're doing the engraving. So there's quite a few people who have made a business out of that.
You can actually even engrave on pens if you're very careful to firmly attach it to the mat and just do small engraving.
Oh, wow. And then you guys also were talking about how people were making their prototype boxes and perfume boxes.
Yeah, I specifically U.S. based. We have a lot of salesmen who, prior to perfume being introduced to the market as a whole, and makeup, they don't have the boxes. They had to send out to have the boxes made, or they have to send out for a die specifically made for the size boxes that they want, and they can now, using different types of lightweight chipboard, some of it even the smaller corrugated board that they'll use to make the perfume boxes as well as the makeup boxes. Then they'll use the blade for cutting it. They'll use the engraving tool or the embossing tool to score the lines so that when they pop them off, all they do is put them together. We've also had some success with people using the Foil Master, which is a completely separate machine, and they're foiling the boxes prior to that, or doing print and cut on the boxes. So when they go to market with these, of course, they've got an upper hand on the people who don't have any packaging while they're waiting for the packaging to be done.
Very cool.
And so I was just going to add a little bit more in.
Okay, go ahead.
Prototype-wise, it's used for more than just packaging. For example, Carte Blanche is a company who are the creators of the Me to You range, who some of you will know of as Tatty Teddy. They use our machines for prototyping their new designs of card and stationery. They brought along to our showroom in Derby, they brought along a cut they'd done that took them 45 minutes by hand, and it was a little rough around the edges. I did the same cut for them on the Silver Bullet. It took 45 seconds, and they purchased a machine on the spot.
Oh.
The other thing is the candle and soap boxes. We have a lot of people who make their own soap and sell it, and now we've afforded them the opportunity to box that versus just having that soap wrapped. And the same with candle shops. We have a number of candle shops that will cut vinyl wedding designs, etc., and put them on the candles, and then put them in custom-made boxes as well.
All right. Now these next few slides, we got some, some examples of engraving and some vinyl and stuff. So you can go ahead and explain this, Dawn. You submitted all these photos to me.
Yep. This is engraving on acrylic mirror, but instead of engraving on the face, I engraved on the back to remove the silvering.
Ah.
I then added inks onto the back and made a box which takes a battery-powered light so that it shines through the coloured inks. Very effective.
Looks very nice.
And you said that that's acrylic mirror, correct, Dawn?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And then we have, is this heat transfer vinyl?
It is, yeah. Products using heat transfer are produced by a huge number of companies, both big ones but also small home businesses, etc. It's a media that's very, very easy to cut and gives impressive looking results. That's a heat transfer flock. Again, lovely result to cut.
All right, so we have some more real life examples here, and Sherri can talk about some of these.
Yeah, we wanted to just share with people some of the companies and things that have purchased the machine and are running them successfully. We have a lot of feature film companies in Hollywood that are using them for the movie sets, the costume design, etc. The gaming industry. People making smaller runs of games where they're either doing the print and cut and cutting the chipboard where it's got a paper over it and printed, or whether they're just cutting the chipboard pieces. So it's afforded people with small businesses to do small runs of those games. Science and technology, we've got companies like MIT, most major universities, a lot of medical universities running the machines, cutting things for medical uses. MIT, actually, a funny story, it was started out making they wanted to know if it would cut faux fur, and of course it will if you flip the faux fur over and cut it from the back. It cuts it very well. I asked them a short time later what they were using the faux fur for, and they said that they were using it for to make teddy bears, and I was, of course, asked again then what they would be making teddy bears for, and they said that it was for the figuring out the physics of the cuts and things, and that they were donating them to Children's Hospital. So Then the theatrical design companies, the New York Institute of Arts, Chicago Institute of Arts, those type of places, a lot of the local theaters here close to me have purchased it. They're doing, again, set designs and things with the cutter. And as we go on to education, almost every major university in the United States, a lot of primary schools, the schools can no longer hang things on the walls. They can't put anything up with nails or tape or anything. So vinyl is indoor vinyl. Oracle 631 is a great medium for them to use because it goes up and they can take it down at the end of the year without any damaging to the school property. We have a couple of Braille schools, and as Dawn and I were speaking yesterday, she's also got a Braille school. They're actually using the embossing tool and embossing the Braille when they're doing the books. I have another gentleman that's using it. He's making maps for the entire Braille schools. Disney is running our machines. They are using it for the foam core that they use to train the dolphins for like recognition, where they'll hold up two pieces of the same thing and then different things so it can get them to nod yes and no. They've been running our machines for about 3-4 years. And then I'm going to let Dawn go on to the paper sculpting. They're the professionals on that.
There's a lot of people now, professional paper sculptors, who are using our machines to cut with. The vast majority of them won't admit it, but we have Gail Barlow. An example of her work is what you see on the screen. She's happy to admit she uses a cutter. The intricacy of her work is quite amazing. You can find it if you Google her website. But as I say, we can't list anybody else because they want to keep it a secret.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
All right, so if I'm looking to purchase a silver bullet machine, we're going to sort of go over what's all included with the machine itself. So.
Well, for the machines are exactly the same, other than the width of the cut. It's 13-inch, 15-inch, 18-inch, and 24-inch. And as a number of people had indicated when they signed on, some people have a couple of our machines. Some of them have the original BlackCat Cougar, still running that, and moved up to the Silver Bullet when we created that. Some people have the same sizes. Some have different sizes, using them for different things. You'll get the software with it. SureCuts a lot is what we provide in the United States. All cords, cables that are necessary to run the machine. The standard blade holder, blades. You get a 45-degree and a 60-degree blade with the machine. You'll get a carrier mat with that and a test pen.
All right, and we're going to show pictures of all this stuff too. So we have the blade holder, we have the 45-degree blade that you can see down here at the bottom, as well as the 60-degree blade. Now, can you sort of explain why the degrees and what blade's great for what kind of material?
Well, Dawn and we have differing, I think, sales pitches on this. I always tell people the 45-degree blade is used for lightweight paper and vinyl, and the 60-degree blade for cardstock all the way up to a serial weight box of chipboard is generally what I tell. A lot of people use the 45-degree blade across the board for many things, but for me,
you also have a deep shaft one, right?
Well, right. Yep.
But that's not included. Yeah.
That's not included. No.
Okay.
So Dawn,
just for our UK people, I'll explain how I sell it.
Yes.
We have a 45-degree blade for paper, vinyl and cardstock up to about 160 GSM. Then we have the 60-degree blade for between about 160 and 350, 400 GSM.
All right.
Okay.
So we also have the carrier mat, some removals, and a USB drive. So some of these are US only, some of these are UK only. So what size? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We back up, Rob. I think that did we have test pen on the first sheet? I think that we were going to put that on there. We didn't. But
okay. Yeah.
There. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I did not get a photo of it. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem. The test pen is included, and it's for those that have it or those that get it. It's a little black plastic holder, similar in looks to the standard blade holder, and you get 2 ink cartridges, and you use those, insert it in that, and we cannot get the manufacturer to make that the right size. So we, in our learning center, we show people wrap one piece of tape around it and put it in there. We think it's a really good idea when you're first learning, or if you have a file that you're not sure how it's going to cut, go ahead and put that test pen in there, and you can use basic copy paper or anything to test your designs before you cut them. And so it's a really good resource that very few people use.
All right. I didn't know if you wanted to bring up your tip on the carrier mount on how to extend the life of the not only.
Oh yeah, thank you, Rob. Yeah, the carrier mats are a polycarbonate mat, and they have a, as opposed to a flood adhesive like the other mats have, it has a dot adhesive on it, so there's an air release in between there, so it's easier for the paper and things to come off. And so we always suggest that people do a 180-degree turn on your mat each time you use it, so that the mat wears more evenly. And we encourage people, if they choose to use, cricket mats or other blades or something, that's perfectly fine, whatever you can find on sale. What we will suggest, though, is always have an OEM, meaning a silver bullet mat and blade available, because if you have an issue, which does happen a lot, and people call us, we'll have them put that silver bullet mat in there and the silver bullet blade in there, and the problem is resolved. That way we know that it's something with their blade or the mat that they have. Generally, some of these other mats that are made out of thinner plastic will get divots in them, and the divots will cause the blade to not be able to cut the entire pattern, and you'll go to try to pull it off, and there's little pieces you clip. Generally, we get those comments, and we know right away what the problem is. But yeah, absolutely, you can use other mats, and then just make sure you've got a good OEM mat on hand, so if you have a problem, we can go back to that.
Is there anything you want to bring up about the blades, like buying off the, not from your store compared to?
Yeah, there's a lot of blades for sale, on eBay and other places. People have sources to get them. A lot of the blades that are sold there, if they're extremely inexpensive, on eBay, there's a reason for that. They're manufactured in China, and they are inexpensive. They will have little burrs on them, and you won't be able to really tell until you're cutting, but you'll have little tags on that don't cut all the way through, or it'll be pulling on your paper. In particular, if it's pulling on your paper or your vinyl in particular, you'll know that there's either a chip in your blade, or that there's some type of a problem with the tip of the blade, and you want to look at that under a really high-powered microscope to find out that that there is something there. And if it's a burr, there isn't really anything that you can do about it. Again, we will always ask you to make sure you put a silver bullet blade in, because we know how they operate, and we know that they don't have burrs in them. They do chip, however, they're very fragile, and if you happen to drop it, it will chip, and you won't be paying attention to it the next time you try cutting. If it's not cutting properly, it's generally that there's, like I said, a chip or a burr in the blade if it's one of the ones purchased from eBay or elsewhere.
What I will just put in here is a major course of blade chipping is actually hitting the tip of the blade on the edge of the carrier mat as you feed the mat in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So bear that in mind and be careful with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very fragile.
All right, so these machines are really great at, if you're ever out there trying to think about, should I start up a new business or something? So, Sherri's always telling me, I got lots of ideas in my head. I just don't have the time to do it, but I'm sure there's people out there. So we got a couple of, maybe we can go through a couple of these examples in here, talking about how you would,
these
give
are
us an idea.
Yeah, these are some of the startup businesses that when Dawn and I started, I had just actually ended a 28-year real estate career, as most people know, and I had a lot of people calling, and the fall of 2008, worldwide, 2008, 2009, a lot of people losing their jobs, a lot of people looking for a way to make money from home-based businesses. So, we're really proud to say that we have a lot of people at this point who started those businesses and are still running them today. Many of those people that have expanded their number of machines. I've got one particular woman doing home decor, and she's running 6 of our 24-inch machines every day and has 5 employees. So, a lot of people started out on Etsy. There's a lot of, as many of you know, we've got a lot of people that hang out in the forum, and they create on Etsy and sell from there. In regards to the home decor market, we have several people doing appliquing, and quilting is the next statement. There's quilting, doing the home decor pillows where they're be cutting designs and things and ironing them onto the pillows for design. We have the woman that's running the 6 machines is actually making flowers for a famous wedding planner, and she's gotten quite successful with that. Anybody that's seen the photos, they're hanging on the wall in my office. Graphic artists, we probably 30% of the U.S. business are graphic artists using our machines. They were not able to use laser machines on wedding invitation paper. It will burn the paper, maybe not at the time, but the chemical reaction will cause it to turn brown over a period of time. So they wanted to get laser cuts with a machine, which is when we redesigned the machine in 2012 with the silver bullet. We're actually absolutely getting laser cuts. Rob's going to have some pictures, if not today, at a different day, showing the laser cuts. Some of the cuts are thinner than a piece of thread, and those graphic artists, were extremely excited to get this to market and have that to use. And I'll let Dawn go on to from there with the heat transfer.
The heat transfer, we covered that earlier. As I say, it's very big business for a lot of companies. There's so much you can do, whether it be T-shirts, bags, tablecloths, napkins. It comes into all sorts of different businesses. Rhinestone templates, they're very, very easy to make on the machine, and the amount of time that you save through not having to set each rhinestone individually, that's huge. Stencils, I'll hand back again to you, Sherri.
Yeah, okay. I've got a good share of the market here in the U.S. that are stencil makers, people that are using mylar, plastic, vinyl to make those stencils. The people that are using the mylar are tattoo artists who don't have the time necessarily to always do the basic designs that some people are wanting. So if they're not looking for custom, they're just, on the wall, there's a design. They've got a lot of the mylar stencils already made up, and it helps them save time by using that stencil when he's doing the. We have actually a quite famous tattoo artist in New York who was on TV, and he's running our machine doing just that. The plastic, when people are making stencils out of the plastic, we have a large share of the market for people that are going to craft fairs, and when you're seeing the signs that are painted on, etc., instead of them hand painting those, they're making stencils and then they're spray painting them or the dapple painting them. Gets the job done a lot faster for them. I've got a number of people who make those stencils and sell those to the same market, and the same with vinyl. You can make stencils out of vinyl, car wrap vinyl. We have a lot of hobbyists as the next one in models and miniatures. This is a little bit on that, is that the numbers, letters, things like that. They'll make stencils to do the numbers and the lettering on the models. And then going down to models, it's the railroad industry, and Dawn probably can speak to that a little bit more than I can. I've got some railroad hobbyists, but and miniatures, but I think that the European market probably a little bit heavier on those things than I was.
Yes, I think it is. We've got regular posters in our forum who do model making. Some of the work that they produce is quite amazing to see. The intricacy and the size as well, because although they're still cutting in a very small scale, they're producing pieces of work that can be 3 or 4 feet across. The reverse of that, of course, is the miniatures. Typical example is Doll's House, or the businesses that do this sort of work. And what I'm thinking of one customer in particular, I have 2 samples of hers in my showroom, and she's produced little tiny rocking horses. 1 in 12 and 1 in 24 scale, and they look like they're actually carved out of wood. They're incredible to see. And then of course we've got card making and scrapbooking. That in itself is a huge market. A lot of the card makers start out as a hobby, and then as financial times have become difficult, they go on to a small home business. A lot of wedding stationery companies start up that way, and wedding stationery again is a huge market. We have people who are specialising in the invitations. We have people who do handmade albums. It goes on and on.
And to add to that, in the scrapbooking market, I have somebody that purchased an original BlackCat for me in 2009, and she is now running 4 24-inch machines. She has an online business where she sells scrapbooking kits to people, and she had lost her job. Her husband was about to lose his when they bought that first machine, and now there's several family members and 4 machines running. Their business has grown. They're producing these kits, every day and putting those out on the internet for sale. So they've made an entire family living out of these machines, and the only thing she's ever replaced on any of her machines are the rubber rollers. And a couple of months ago, I got her a box of 40 of those rubber wheels and just sent them to her because she was constantly contacting me for new rubber wheels because she was wearing those out.
Oh, that's funny. So a lot of great startup business ideas. I mean, very, very cool. All right, so if you guys are wondering to know a little bit more about the Silver Bullet, you got silverbulletcutters.com. There's a forum on there as well. Free to join, and also on there, you can talk about the distributors, and if you're in the U.S., who would you go through? If you're in the, Australia, who would you go to? So you guys can go ahead and talk that if you want.
Okay, yeah, at silverbulletcutters.com, we were trying to find a place where we could put videos, both customer selected videos and that they were making of the things that they were cutting, and then we had some. Whenever somebody would contact us about could it cut this or that, and they'll send us samples, we were trying to make videos of those. So we'd have one spot where we could try to put all of those things. And we're still building on that site, and we've got some pretty major changes coming to everything. The store will be renamed as Silver Bullet here shortly, as well as that site having the distributor links, like you said, for myself and for Dawn and for Joe in Australia. Which between the 3 of us we cover the entire world, and we do ship international a lot. And there's videos there, like I said, there's customer videos that if you have a video and it's something interesting thing somebody would like to see, would encourage you to let us know that and put that up. And then there's also a photo gallery there, and Dawn might want to comment on that because I think probably 60% of it might be her.
Yeah, about that. You'll also, if you follow the distributor links, you'll find that some of us have got our own galleries, etc. Joe has a forum as well. I also have a forum. Mine's private. You can only join as a guest and see a certain amount until you actually have a machine. That's by the customer's request. But there's pictures everywhere that you can see of what the machines are capable of.
Yeah, you don't have to be a member to get to see the pictures, right, Dawn?
You don't, no.
Right.
I mean, you'll be amazed at some of the things that they're posting in that gallery. I meant very, very.
And more amazed when you see the ones that are coming, right, Rob?
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, so that sort of concluded the Silver Bullet. I don't know if there's any questions out there before we get to Michelle showing us how we can do a little giveaway. Michelle, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Have you noticed any questions at all? Or?
Some of them have been answered by the viewers.
Okay, that's great.
I've been looking through them. So.
Okay, cool. So do you want a demo on the giveaway and
sure.
show us what we got?
Okay.
Let me go ahead and cue your screen up. All right, you're up.
Okay. Tonight we have some amazing giveaways for our viewers. If you go to MichelleMyBelleCreations.com and you click on the ScrappyDew Live Silver Bullet Cutters post, and you scroll down, okay, our first giveaway is going to be the Scrap Factory program with your choice of expansion packs. And with the basic starters doll set, it consists of 2 body styles, 2 bear styles, and 8 boy and 8 girl hairstyles, and also 8 boy and 8 girl outfits. And you can add expansion packs to the program and create a variety of dolls. And that's by ScrappyDew.com. And our next giveaway is going to be 2 12 by 12 Renew kits. And if you go to That Scrap Inc. and click on Renew Sheets, okay, there you will see the variety of kits that are available for purchase, and they also come in extra sticky, and there's a variety of sizes, and you can get more information on the Renew Sheets there. And there's some photos. And also the Silver Bullet Professional flash drive. These are only available with the purchase of a new Silver Bullet Professional die cutting machine. And Silver Bullet Cutters is giving away 2 flash drives. Also, we're giving away 2 45-degree blades, and they are for cutting paper, vinyl, and thin cardstock, and they fit both the Cougar and the Silver Bullet standard holders and the click holder, and that is being given away by Dawn at Thyme Graphics. And you can enter the giveaway below here. You'll just log in to the Rafflecopter giveaway using either your Facebook or your email, and you can enter the giveaway there.
All right. All right, so we got a couple of questions here, and let me go ahead and pull this one up. So Vicky Woody, she asked this question. She said, "What's the greatest difference from the Cameo and the Silver Bullet for paper piecing?"
I'll take that one.
Okay.
The single biggest difference is the amount of cutting pressure. The Cameo is a nice machine. It's obviously a lot smaller than ours. You've only got the smaller sizes there, but you've got a maximum cutting force of around about 225. So you struggle more with your thicker cardstock. If you're cutting anything thicker than that, you're going to really struggle. And you'll find that you're having to do multiple cuts a lot. The only problem with that is that it doesn't always line up exactly, because the method of holding the mat and the media in position is nothing like as strong as ours. So that's the main thing, the cutting pressure.
And Dawn, you used to sell the Cameo as well, so
I did, yes.
Yeah, and we've both owned them and tested them, and yeah, and I would concur with what she's saying.
Yeah, another person's suggestion, she actually wants to see some comparison cuts from the Silver Bullet Cameo Cricut Explorer. So
can we speak to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole purpose of the Silver Bullet live show here, and we will be continuing this probably in a different format in a few weeks. Our purpose is to get the information out to our customers. We're constantly being barraged with, do you have a retail store? And no, we don't. And no, there's no way to see things being cut. So that was the purpose of deciding to do this type of show. And thankfully Rob was there and anxious to help us with this. And so we don't want to get into doing comparison cutting with other machines. What we want to do is showcase what our machine will do. We're certainly happy to try to answer questions when people ask them, but it kind of gets into that situation where you feel like you're, downgrading another cutter or company, and we that's not how we sell. We do not want to do that, and we don't want to get into that. So please just watch what it is that our machine has to do. I think it's going to be really simple. If you've seen any of the other machines working, when you see the Silver Bullet working, you're going to be able to see the difference in what it does. And we will in future shows be having Rob show things. And if there's anybody out there that there's something specific they'd like to see cut, like somebody says, well, I'd like to see some vinyl cut. If you send into the show early, we can be prepared for that. Otherwise, it might be something that if Rob has it on hand, he can throw it in the machine and cut something for you real quick, or something like that. So in future broadcasts, that's what we hope to do. We'll try, each week that we do this, we'll try to do something different, engraving, embossing, those types of things. So if you have an interest in any of those things, watch the show or ask questions on, what you'd like to see in the future. But we kind of want to stay away from trying to be the person comparing it to others. We just don't think that there is a real comparison when you're dealing with a professional commercial machine that's meant to be used all day, every day. And I do have people running them on 3 shifts a day in their businesses, and they're still running 4 years later with no repairs and no additional work to them. So it's not the same as a desktop machine that was meant to be doing, at-home crafts and things. This was absolutely meant to be run commercially, and hopefully people that move up to this machine, it's the last machine you'll ever have to own. And Dawn, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I'd concur with everything that you said.
Okay.
All right. Trezek here, she asked the question, what are these renew sheets?
Okay, I created the renew sheets when when Dawn and I worked on the polycarbonate mats, and we went from that flood adhesive I was talking about before to do the dot adhesive on there, because the mats last much longer than standard mats. Obviously, the mats went dead much quicker, and people were having a difficult time figuring out what to use to replenish the adhesive on the mats when they still had a lot of use left in them. So I worked with 3M and a paper specialist to come up with the specific adhesive that we needed to use, obviously, because we're not putting it on a mat now, we're putting it on paper. So it's 2 sheets of paper, and you do get a sample of it when you purchase a machine, so you know what it's like. You can also go to the store and buy it because it can be used on anybody else's mats, including mats that you purchase at quilters mats and things like that. And it's just 2 sheets of paper that pull apart. One of them still has the adhesive on. You lay that adhesive down, flat down on the mat. You go over it with the scraper that we provide if you get a kit. It's got 2 sheets and a scraper with it, and that's what comes in the standard machine pack. And then it completely replenishes the mat. You don't have to wash the mats off in between. You just put it right over the top. If you have a lot of paper pulp or something on it, you might want to rinse it off, but people generally tell us that they're not cleaning them off at all. They're just putting it on top of until the mat is wore off. So
it's a non-spray, non-toxic. Yeah. You don't have to leave the room in order to apply this. So very eco-friendly.
They're extremely, extremely popular with both the people who are running our machines and all of the other machines. Yeah, thanks, Penny. Penny knows she was the first person to get to try them out, or one of the first people to get to try them out. Yeah, we went through a few of those, Penny, before we came up with the right mixture. We also have just a footnote here. We also have the extra sticky renew sheet. So when you're trying to cut, metal or leather or chipboard or things, or fabric in particular, you can use the extra sticky renew sheets. We just caution people, be careful when you're putting stuff on, and we do have them marked now so that all over the place, that that it's an extra sticky mat, it's extra sticky renew sheet. Sometimes you get something on there, you're not going to get it back off, so just caution people to be careful.
Never let paper see your extra sticky mat.
Yeah, and thank you, Elsa. That's thank you. Yeah, we think they're pretty wonderful too. Here in Minnesota, you just don't go outside and spray anything in the dead of winter. So those renew sheets have really come in handy.
All right. Now this person here, she's wanting a tip. Okay, she's had the silver bullet for a couple, it says for 6 months. How does she overcome that fear in using?
Lauren, this question. I probably get a phone call a month about this. And what's funny is that when you apply to the Learning Center, just today, and I know Gigi's on here, I think she is, she's my admin and allows people into the Learning Center, and today somebody applied, and they are just applying, and since a machine, they purchased it in 2012. So it's taken them about 3 years to get there, and it definitely fear of taking it out of the box. I think that Dawn will concur with me on this, is you literally can't break this machine.
You can't. The worst that you can do is break a blade or cut into your mat, both of which are replaceable. You won't break the machine. Take it out the box, plug it in, and just play with it. And there's plenty of help around. You can always contact us if you need a little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, we have fabulous people on the forum that are there, that if you say, look, I'm so scared to do this, and we'll walk them through. One of the things that has happened to me recently is about the past 6 weeks I've had some classes at the studio specifically related to local friends and family here that I was shocked to find out that they'd done basic cutting, but they hadn't done engraving, embossing, whatever. So I said, okay, well, we'll have some classes here, and they cannot believe when you put in the additional tools how easy it is to do the additional things, and once they've tried it or you stepped outside that box and done it, it opens up a whole new world for you in possibilities. Sherri Jensen is my accountant. I know that she's probably out here listening, and she had a extreme fear of vinyl. Now, mind you, she works for me, and she's had a machine since the beginning, and she finally conquered that fear, I think a little over a year ago, and at Christmas this year she had a craft fair at the studio, and it was full of things cut with vinyl cuttings on ceramic tile and glass, and she had a pretty good sale, and beautiful stuff, very, very easy to do, but if you don't take it out of the box and try it, even with the test pen, I promise you cannot You literally cannot break the machine. You just can't break it. Well, if you dropped it on cement, maybe. But we have had people that have dropped it on cement. It broke the end cap, but it did nothing to the machine. So, yeah, it's pretty tough.
Got a couple
Do you have anything, Dawn?
Yeah, I will add to that as well. I had a customer come back to me just 2 days ago because the cuts weren't quite what they ought to be. And the problem was resolved quite easily in the end because they'd been cutting an awful lot of glitter card, and they'd actually got bits of glitter all jammed up inside the blade holder, so the blade wasn't revolving freely. But ignoring that, the state of their machine, I should have taken a photograph, and they admitted it themselves. I've never seen a machine so filthy, covered in glue, gunk, all sorts of stuff.
They were just
So is that considered an overuse, Dawn?
Definitely overuse. It's still working
So
for
both ends of
them.
the spectrum. Everybody step out there, either clean up your machine or get it out of the box and get started with it. And really contact us if you're having trouble. I'm happy to be on the phone with somebody for an hour or two on a weekday or a weekend or an evening and walk you through it, or I'll hold your hand and help you through it, because we really want you using the machine.
We do. We don't want any machine sat out there not being used. So just contact us.
So speaking of that, someone asked the question, do you have classes for beginners?
Well, once people have gone through the Learning Center, we really don't have, we used to get a lot of tech support calls, but when we created the Learning Center and people are in there, they get most of the answers, and then they go to the forum. As some of the people that are on here know who helped me out at the forum, they're there to answer questions, and people will, it'll seem like they're struggling, all of a sudden the light bulb goes on, and they realize that it's something that they're doing or a step that they missed or whatever. And we have found that it's actually better if a person is in front of their machine in their own time, watching the videos, reading the tutorials, which again we're adding to and changing some of them at the Learning Center, because we're still at Scale 3 there. We got to move up to Scale 4 as soon as Rob gets some time. And so we found that people going in there are telling us that it's easier for them when it's right in front of them and they're actually physically doing it, as opposed to having a class. I do have classes at the studio for this group of people. I've had some additional people asking me. I probably would start up again in the fall, probably for the summer months, not so much, but in the fall I'd be happy to entertain the idea of somebody coming in for classes.
And if you're in the UK, I do classes by request, or we book 1 or 2 retreats a year as well. You can have one-on-one tuition, you can have small groups, large groups. Just a case of contacting me and arranging it.
We have a question here about the renew sheets. Someone wants to know how long does a renew sheet last?
That's really difficult. It depends on what you're cutting. Obviously, the more porous I'll just use cardstock as an example. The more porous the cardstock, the more liquid it's going to wick out of the adhesive and then dry out the adhesive. So some people use a mat when they're cutting vinyl. I do, because it's usually something small and it's easier for me. Obviously, putting anything like the backing of vinyl on doesn't do anything to the adhesive, so you go from that to a very inexpensive cardstock, which, by the way, we don't suggest. Getting some of the smoother Recollections cardstock from Michael's with a 40% off coupon. That's fabulous cardstock. It's very smooth. It doesn't wick off the moisture, and it doesn't take a lot of the adhesive off, so you get a lot more wear out of the renew sheet. But there's really no way for us to judge how long it takes. Once you start using them, you find out really quickly, because most people use the machines for basically the same things. Obviously, putting chipboard on there, the chipboard is going to wick off more of that adhesive than even the cardstock. So just thinking about what the media is that you're using and how that's taking that adhesive and the moisture from the adhesive out will give you a pretty good handle on it.
All right, and I think that's it.
We will say in regards to the renew sheets that the renew sheets have a 1-year shelf life, and we just kind of discovered that here in the United States, I've had them in my warehouse, and I don't have any issues with them. Dawn got a shipment of them, and she's having some issues with hers feeling dried out. And we're talking humidity is what the manufacturer is telling us, and that they did guarantee the shelf life for 1 year. So if you have some that are older than that, and they appear to be, a bit dried out, use those up as quick as you can. We're trying to figure out for Dawn, how to handle that situation, and she's thinking that, I believe, Dawn, you're thinking because your warehouse is drier?
Yes. For customers who used to get the renew sheets from me, they will see at the moment they're out of stock. I'm hoping to resolve the problem and get them back in, so just be patient with us. We're doing our best.
Good luck with that one.
Thank you.
The patience part, I mean, because when I've only been out one time, but boy, it was ugly. But we appreciate everybody.
Yeah, Brenda said thank you, so thanks for answering her question.
Thank you, Brenda.
All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions. So, I mean, if you guys do, feel free to post them below. I do want to put out a couple of ScrappyDew news and notes before we sign off here. So, if you still have questions for this about the Silver Bullet, feel free to post them. I'm just going to go ahead and do a little chit chat with what's new with the ScrappyDew stuff.
Anxious to hear.
Oh, me too. I don't even know what I'm going to say. All right, so if you're on the ScrappyDew.com website, you'll notice that we do have stamps now, and that we had this first eye set right here, and if you came to last week's, we sold out of it, right? So we sold out within 48 hours of it. We did put it on reorder, but if you would like, feel free to put your email address down here, and once we get them in, once we get the shipping in and they're ready to ship out the door, that's when you get the little notification email. So,
and Rob, do you want to mention to them that the 3 sizes that comes in, because I know that was a lot of people were asking that question, but these things are like hotcakes. That people are loving them.
Oh yeah, well, I don't have the exact size measurements, but if you're used to ScrappyDew patterns anyway, we have
fit on all of them.
Yeah, we have the little disclaimer down here. If you grow the body to either 3.75, 4.75, or 5.75, they'll fit. If you're wanting to know exact measurements, just send us an email, support@scrappydew.com, and we'll send that to you. Trying to think what else we got going. I thought there was something else, but maybe not. But I did want to say that I too, Jana posted on here that she got her stamps today, and I did too, because they're actually they're all shipped to Michelle, who lives in Pennsylvania. I live in Clarksville, Tennessee, and so she sent them to me. So we have this collection here. So that's our second set. So you can sort of see how big that is. I've got my finger right there. But we have that set, and then of course we have that Easter set still, and we have another eye set coming out. We placed that order today, so hopefully in 2 weeks you'll see that. So lots of cool things at ScrappyDew. Check it out. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about as well. We do have a thing called the Scrappy list. Okay, it's basically a database of all the patterns that we have. And once you own one of those patterns, you can tell this program, hey, I own it. And you can even drop and drag the folder of that file in there, so it will always stay in your computer's memory. So, what's great about this list is you can scroll through it and you can see what you own and what you don't own. And we had Christy, she fixed our database because we moved over to a new store. She fixed all the databases, so now all the purchase buttons within that app work. So as soon as you see something that you like in that Scrappy list, you can say, okay, I'm going to click the purchase button and purchase it. And you'll also see a lot of those patterns that are in the Scrappy list are in the vault, and click that purchase link on there and you'll be taken to the vault. So lots of things going on. We got a couple more Scrap Factory expansion packs coming out, so hopefully I can have those out here this weekend as well. So very busy, very busy. And I'm going to go ahead and check to see if there's any more questions coming up. Having issues with saving my SVGs. Yeah, I'm not saying. Hey, Deb, I do see your question. This one right here. So Deb Brooks, you're going to have to contact us on support@scrappydew.com for this one, and that way it will. That way we can actually work with you one-on-one with this issue. I don't think we can do that in a quick demo through a video. So send us a support email on that one. Stamps. So you just got your facial expressions as well. So cute. Can't wait to use them. Yeah. I mean, if you guys use them, put them up on our Facebook. ScrappyDew.com/Facebook will get you to our Facebook page. So we always love seeing whatever you guys make. So I guess with that, we're going to go ahead and close up.
Rob, Michelle has that mirrored glass photo.
Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and see that.
Yeah.
So Michelle, she's been practicing with her silver bullet, and this was her first attempt at etching some mirror.
Engraving.
Yeah, I'm sorry, engraving some mirror. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, let me get my screen. Can you see it?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. This is a mirrored glass, and it's a size 4x6. I'm sorry, it's a little bit blurry. It was kind of difficult to take a photo of it since it's mirrored glass. I went to our local glass place, and he gave me some leftover glass from customer jobs. And this is a Magnolia file that you get when you purchase the machine. It's a practice file you can use, and that's what I worked on this week.
And Dawn, did you have something you wanted to add to that in regards to the mirrored glass?
Oh, mirrored glass, well, glass in general, will wear your engraving tip a great deal faster than engraving anything else. Be aware of that. It's often better to use an acrylic rather than a glass. Plus, of course, you've got the safety factor that there's no possibility of it shattering.
And so there is mirrored acrylic out there that would be.
It is, yes.
Yes,
and the one that I showed earlier with the letter, that's actually a mirrored acrylic.
All right.
I want to just take a minute, Rob and Michelle, and thank you guys from the U.S. Silver Bullet family. I know there's a lot of people here listening to this tonight. We really appreciate the effort that you guys are putting into this to help us get the word out about the machines and what they do.
And I'd like to second that as well from the UK and Europe.
Well, I appreciate you guys actually coming on here. It does mean a lot to actually get to talk with the actual owners and creators of something. So I appreciate that as well. After the show here, Brenda will send you a little message with or maybe someone else can. I guess Penny just did post a link of
Thank you, Penny.
Machines. So yeah. See, that's what I like, fast answers, man. I don't even have to tell you.
I know, big hug to my entire U.S. Silver Bullet family, and thanks for showing up, guys.
I posted some links in the comments section, too, there for all the websites, so if they want to check the comments, the links will be there posted.
Okay, and I'm also, after the show, I'm going to add a couple photos because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not a crafter or anything, and this week I was playing with the engraving with the silver bullet. And I'm going to post some photos on there on how intricate some of these lines are with the with a SureCut. Well, SureCut Slot 4 has a line fill, and I'm sure other programs have the same kind of feature. But I think it turned out great. So I'm gonna post those photos here after the show, so you guys can take a look at that as well.
And his children love the Pokemon he made for him.
Oh yeah. We'll show the little Pokemon thing. So. I do appreciate everyone coming out. Like I said, feel free to go to scrappydew.com/live. Fill out that little fill out your email address. That way you'll be notified the next time we do a little live video session.
And if you guys have any questions or comments for us, please go ahead and send those in to us, and we'll see what we can do to correct them, make it better, do more of what you would like to see on here in the future.
All right, we'll leave with some of these comments here. These are from you, Michelle. Very nice, Michelle. Very nice, Michelle. Michelle, great job, beautiful. All right, well, thanks again for coming out, and we will all see you guys hopefully in the future. All right, take care.